This steam locomotive was built in 1909, known as a Shay type gear system. Every wheel is connected to a gear. There's 2, 4, 6 wheels. Even the tender has gears on it. This was the type of engine that lumber companies would use on tracks that were only built for a year or two in mountains, big hills, and sharp curves. This kind of gear system was able to take a beating on these temporary rail lines that were very steep and curvy, and they didn't destroy the tracks like a regular steam engine would. Pretty neat. Thanks to Zeke's local knowledge of the area, he talked us into going to Bojangles for breakfast. It was yummy.
Today is maintenance day. If for some reason the adult-only car we're on today doesn't make it over those trestles, they save this car first. You want to know why? We're crown class. We're going to see a lot of elk today, I hope, because it's 70 degrees. They're coming out of the mountains, out of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and they're grazing on fields that still have tomatoes and peppers on the vine on November 10th. You're going to learn about 80% of what I tell you is actually true today. A number 64 sticks up. That's called a milepost. That meant from that position, you're 64 miles on this track from Asheville. We're going down in numbers. So we're getting closer to Asheville, okay? Up until October 31st, we went the other direction. We went to the Nantahala Gorge. We can't go there typically after October 31st. Why? That route climbs the mountain, 5.3 degrees in elevation. Goes over 3 rivers, goes over a massive lake, goes over a lot of stuff. I'm going to teach you a lot. You're going to learn Cherokee words. The first Cherokee word that will be on the test at the end of the day. I take notes. Put it in your memo pad. As you came into southern Appalachia, as you drove into Bryson City, the mountains looked like they were on fire. The Cherokee call that Shikanohe. Shikanohe means land of the blue smoke. We are surrounded by mountains, very tall in elevation, 5,000 to 6,000 feet. The upper elevations, over 3,500 feet, get an average of 90 inches of rain a year. They're considered a temporal rainforest over 3,500 feet. That smoke, that it looks like smoke, that the Cherokee call Shikanohe, means land of the blue smoke. That blue smoke is the moisture coming out of the mountains. We were in a fog bank driving into work from Silva today. We came through a cloud. You could barely see 1,000 feet in front of you on the bypass. We're going to go 16 miles one way, 16 and a half. We're going to stop this train. They're going to separate the train 2 cars up, so they're not blocking the intersection in that little town. We're going to get off the train for an hour and a half today. We're going to get off this train in a town called Dillsboro. Beautiful mountain town, about 4 blocks long. The conductor, they're going to give us a time we got to be back from our layover if we want a ride home today. I say that laughing, but I say that being serious. How many people have been on a cruise ship? Raise your hand. Who's been on a cruise? What do they tell you if you don't make it back? Bye-bye.
Take your camera.
October 13th last year at the Nantahala Gorge, we left 15 people. You don't want to be a runner. We make fun of runners as we leave. We're waving at them as they're trying to catch us. If you get back and we're no longer here, do not panic. We're crown class, baby. We'll be here tomorrow, same time. I'm pretty sure the hotels are sold out in that town. So get some camping gear, okay? Now, it's going to rain tomorrow. Temperatures are going to start plummeting. I saw 20s coming up in less than a week in the early hours. Today, whoever made your reservation on this car with me in Crown, guess what? It's going to be in the mid-70s. Give yourself a round of applause. You looked at the schedule online, you're like, what day should we pick? Boom. You hit the lottery. You're going to love it today, okay? So get ready for a good time.
Yeah, that's the bus they were riding on, the collection bus.
Is that crazy?
Crazy. That's crazy.
Good news, it's going to be there on the way home.
Yeah, well,
You having a good time?
Yeah. There's a train right here.
So tell us about the train.
Great Smoky Mountain Railroad. We're on
Southland.
Southland car. Pretty nice car. I was just going to go up and look at the lead engine on the way home. Engine on the way back of the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad excursion trip. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 20 cars filled with passengers. 4 diner cars, like a half a dozen first class cars and a bunch of coaches. And then there's another engine on the other side of the train.
We better get back onto it.
For a steam locomotive from 1942. You got to make these parts yourself, a lot of them very hard to find. Get ready to see a chassis of what will be a steam locomotive in about a decade, they're telling us. Pretty cool. And get ready to see a green engine, number 777. Get a picture, go back, pull up the IMD from the movie 3 Billboards. And that is the engine in the movie. Converted our steam locomotive from coal to oil. It has 3,600 gallons of oil, 10,000 gallons of water. You see the bamboo? People were like, man, is that bamboo? Are we in Southeast Asia? Guess what? Who remembers the wicker and the rattan trade in the 70s? Everything was wicker and rattan furniture. North Carolina, lots of bamboo.
One of my favorite oxymorons is...
No, you're going to see a chassis. This is one of the cars I believe we use for the very granite on the bed of this roadway. All the gravel beneath this track, on top of the ties that fill in this rail, is granite. Very hard stone that they blast on the mountain every day from April to the end of October. All right, get ready to look. This is very cool. Get ready to look out this side. You're going to see a chassis of what will be, and it's hard to believe, in a decade, a steam locomotive. I'm going to try to get out of everybody's way. Coming up right now, check this out. Right here will be a steam locomotive in a decade. Right there. Right now it's a planter. But that literally is going to be, look at this green one, in the movie, 3 Billboards in Missouri. Ooh. Tubing down that mountain, past those waterfalls, for the deep creek.
Oh yeah, we're going across the ditch.
All right, it is amazing, and guess what? There are barbecue cow lead tunnel, dug by prisoners, literally, on chain gangs. Is this it? This is it? There you go. the Tennessee Valley Authority, the TVA, to build a hydro dam. They completed a dam by bringing workers on this very track into that region. They got off this train and they worked around the clock, 24 hours a day, and they were paid a record back then, $5 a shift. That was a lot of money in the early 40s. People flocked to this region to work on that Fontana Dam. When the dam was completed in a record just 2 years, it stood the tallest dam east of the Rockies. 480 feet tall, 2,375 feet wide, and that dam holds back the Tennessee River to the west, 45 minutes away. The pressure on the Tennessee River against the walls of the Fontana Dam from the other side turns turbines, generates electricity. This lake, Lake Fontana, 17 miles long, 450 feet deep, an average depth of 110 feet. And today, if we were still going to the Nantahala Gorge, the area we drive through, dry. Why? They raise and lower this lake 80 to 100 feet a year. The TVA release water spring and summer because Mother Nature is raining in southern Appalachia a lot in the spring and summer. But fall and winter, where we're at right now, the dry season. But no matter what the season, they have to keep pressure on the walls of the Tennessee River coming this way. The pressure turns turbines, generates electricity. So in the fall and winter, they're taking water from the lake backwards and backwashing it, keeping that pressure constant. That turns turbines, generates electricity. In order to get energy out of a hydro dam, you need one main thing 24 hours a day. A lot of damn water. And on a clear day, you can see Kentucky from Cleveland. Yes, you can see 7 states from the top of Clingman's Dome. So, I told you about Joyce Kilmer. Got to go there, write it down. You can't get better weather than this in November anywhere in the country, okay? Welcome to Southern Appalachia, right? But get up there tonight and watch sunset. It is going to be just breathtaking. By the way, the town known as Bryson City did not used to be called Bryson City. Does anybody know the name of this town? You do? What's the name? That's close. It could be. It could be Mayberry, right? Now, this town used to be called Charleston. Charleston, North Carolina. In fact, if you Google Deep Creek Park, I'm pretty sure it still has it listed as the original name, Charleston, North Carolina. Charleston was such a mix-up at the post office because there is already a Charleston, South Carolina, that they renamed this little town of 1,750 people. They renamed it after Thaddeus Bryson. We have one conductor, we have 1 or 2 brakemen, okay? How many people like old trains? Everybody says weird. When we get off this train, guess what? We have an award-winning top 10 in the United States Lionel Train Museum. They're going to open the back doors up. By the way, this museum, Lionel O-Scale $1 Million Collection. It is a 65-foot long triple layout. Took 3 years to build.